It's match day here at the Shea as FC Halifax hosts Grimsby Town. We're hours away from kick-off, but ahead of tonight's action, I called up recently appointed club secretary Tony Allan who gives his views on his new role at the club. You've been at the club now for approximately 6 weeks or so. What drew you to the club?
It's a very attractive proposition to come to Halifax Town. It's a big football club. You only have to look at what's been done to the Shea in recent years. You only have to look at how well the club has progressed in recent years, and you know that the club is only moving in one direction.
Yes, and of course you've worked for many household football clubs, the likes of Notts County. You joined from Accrington Stanley. Do you see much correlation between those clubs and Halifax Town?
I think it's a football league club waiting to happen. I've worked for a number of clubs. I started my career as assistant secretary at Notts County, and I've held the position as secretary of Wigan Athletic at Port Vale and at Chester City on 2 occasions. And yes, up until recently I was working at Accrington Stanley. Let me tell you, this club is very much a football league club just waiting to take its place.
Now, of course, for those who aren't familiar with a club secretary's role, what does it entail?
Oh, it seems to be everything. I'm in charge of things such as the fixtures, arranging matches, both be them at home or away, players' contracts, the day-to-day running of the club, correspondence. It's an all-encompassing, never-ending role that's thoroughly enjoyable.
Now, of course, going to players' contracts and working with the players, what would you say was the biggest personality you ever had an encounter with?
Good afternoon, FC Halifax Town. Well, obviously, the funny story was I actually went back to Chester City the second time for one day, literally for one day. They were signing a player called Darryl Clare, who was quite a formidable striker in non-league football. And I went in for one day. They were just having some problems, and they said, "Look, would you come in and help us?" I knew some people at the club, and it got to 4 o'clock, and we just haven't got there. The negotiations haven't got there. So they said, "Look, are you available to come tomorrow, Tony, to carry on with this?" And yes, I came in on the Tuesday, and I ended there on the Wednesday, and the chairman actually said to me, once we'd signed Darryl, you may as well stay. So I stayed there for 10 years until the club going bump. So I think Darryl's transfer is one that sticks very much in the memory, yes.
Well, of course, if that created a snowball effect for you, you would have been part of the club when the Diva Stadium was built.
Well, you're going back to my first tenure as secretary, and you're absolutely right, because I was secretary at the back end of Sealand Road. I was with the club during those 2 years when we played at Macclesfield, and that really was an experience, an exciting experience which I wouldn't have missed for all the world. It was a tremendous learning curve. And yes, I was there when we returned to the Diva Stadium, so that was exciting as well.
And for those who are unfamiliar with the location of Chester's current stadium, part of the stadium grounds and the car park is in England, whereas the pitch is in Wales. What was the story behind that?
It took me a little while to figure this one out. It's actually the English-Welsh border runs through part of the car park, a substantial part of the car park, and through a small section of the offices.
Right.
Okay, so on a match day, when I had somebody come to the window for a ticket, if I went to my left to get the ticket out of the pigeonhole, I was standing in England, but my hand was in Wales. If that can just go by. I remember when the stadium was being built initially, work had to stop because some very ancient border stones were found in the fields, marking England and Wales, and the museum, Chester Museum, had to come out and remove them. So
that's quite a story. Going back to Halifax Town now, how do you assess their start to the School Premier season?
Well, it's been fantastic, isn't it? It's all about, and this is really for the manager to say, not for me, but I think any football fan would say, let's get those first 45, 50 points on the board, and then we can look at where we're going. And we've done great, haven't we? We've got what we have on the board, and that's tremendous. And there's a lot of clubs below us who will be looking up with some envy, and we've just got to keep that going.
And finally, predictions for tonight's match at home to Grimsby Town?
Oh, is it we? No, seriously, Grimsby Town, they're one of the big boys in this league. I think we all know that. Yeah, this will be difficult. This will be a test. Not least because we would have a few players out through suspension, but I think even with a full strength side, Grimsby Town will always present something of a problem.
Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Pleasure.